Good, Minister, I find it extraordinary that on the one hand you introduce the session by your vision for public transport, and you talk about it being about getting people from home to work, to school and social activities, and yet when you met Bus Éireann and they unveiled to you the disastrous situation that they're in and the stringent changes they have to make according to them, you didn't intervene according to yourself. You didn't comment in one way or the other, according to yourself. It occurs to me that it would have been prudent of you to ask a few questions of them, like, for example, have you tried to develop a business plan to enhance the expressway service, to promote it, to get more people using it? And I'd just like to ask you a question on why you didn't do that, and also a wider question about a vision for public transport, because if it is about a public service, why do Bus Éireann keep referring to it as a product? Expressway to them is a product, not a service. And I think we have to change that language, because if we don't, we will go back to the situation which one of the deputies talked about earlier on, where there are going to be swathes of towns and villages and lesser populated areas that are going to be left without a service rather than a product. And that matters. It matters to the development of rural Ireland. It matters to the sustainability of our communities. But it also matters in a bigger way to the question of the environment and climate change. I'm on the Climate Change Committee, and it strikes me that instead of just you thinking one way and the Minister for the Environment and Climate Change thinking another, you need to bang your heads together and look at ways of getting cars off the road to improve the public transport system, to improve our failed record on reducing our carbon emissions. Anybody travelling on the motorways today can see bumper-to-bumper traffic with one person in each car, because public transport is not adequate, it's not attractive, and it's not really public. And it is by stealth being privatised. And if the NTA keep giving licences to private operators, then they are making it impossible for the public service company, Bus Éireann, to deliver a decent service. And that's why I think you should have questioned them about some kind of a business plan to promote the services of Bus Éireann so that they can effectively compete. And you should also question the amount of licences that the NTA are willingly giving out to private transport companies and pushing Bus Éireann into this difficult position.
The question was, I didn't give any approval or disapproval, but you assume things, Deputy Smith, which are not correct. Don't assume that I didn't ask any questions. I didn't say I didn't ask any questions. You assume that you're wrong about that. What I didn't do is say I am going to intervene in the workings of the operations of this particular company. Don't say that means that I sat there like some sort of a stuffed dummy. I didn't. But I didn't say that. You said I didn't ask any questions. You weren't there, Deputy Smith, so you don't know whether I asked any questions or not.
Minister, that's a bit sharp.
What discussion you had in fairness?
No. The impression you gave was that you did sit there like a dummy. I didn't comment one way or the other. I didn't intervene. Now, if you did ask them questions for their business plan, maybe you could tell us that.
I did ask them questions about it, but I did not approve or disapprove.
That's fine. So that's not what you said.
That is the important thing. Deputy O'Donnell.